Here we go. This is the finished bracket, or basically finished. I haven't put any back into it. That's just how you see it. I mean, you could hang it on a wall like that. If you've got a light coloured wall, it will show up alright. Or you could put a back in through. It depends how you feel. You can see I'll zoom in a bit so you can see there's a little mouse that I cut out and put on the front. I put him on the front of the shelf rather than the back. It was intended to put him on the back, but I thought he looked quite nice on the front. I'll just lift the thing up so you can see the shelf on it. What I've done, it's sort of small rectangular shelf. It's not turned out too bad, I don't think. Could be worse, put it that way. It's not perfect, but it could be worse. That's the dark wood one. That's the solid mahogany one. I'm quite happy with that. Don't know what will end up on the wall. I'll probably give it away like I usually do. I'll show you the other one now. Coming up in a minute. Bear with me. This is the back copy. I'll just support it on that screw so I can show it better. Right. You can see it's got a little mouse on. You'll notice on this one I've put a round shelf rather than a rectangular one just to see what it. Actually, it's quite nice, that I think. I'm not sure if it isn't better than the rectangular shelf. Anyway, that's that one's a plywood one, so he hasn't turned out too bad at all. So we'll see how we get on. I'll just show some of the things where the pattern came from. This is the old book that I got the pattern from. It's an old handicrafts pattern book. It's over 100 years, actually 115 years old, I believe. And it's got a few patterns, mostly basic patterns like the one I've just made in there, but it's quite a useful source of ideas and designs. I quite like these old books when you can get hold of them, but there's not many about now, I imagine. I mean, it's been through 2 world wars, so there's probably not many copies about. They probably got destroyed or gone for salvage during the war, I don't know, and people chucked them out. Not many people are interested in fretwork these days, but I always try and look after them. And hopefully keep the designs, and somebody else will take them up. Perhaps one of my grandchildren will take them on one day and look after them like I've done. I'll just take the opportunity to show a few of the other things that I've made in the past. This is a little fretwork thing. I make these quite quickly. I make these for the local German Shepherd Rescue Charity. They make a few shillings out of them every year. About Christmas time I make a few for them and they sell them on their website, which is quite nice. And there's this one. This is another one that I've made up. Basically, I often take a design from a magazine or something and then I alter it. That's got, originally it had a different animal there, so I put a German Shepherd in instead because they're quite popular. And this is another German Shepherd one that I made. You can see it's got GSD at the bottom, German Shepherd Dog. I didn't make many of those because it's too hard. I hate, as I mentioned before, I hate cutting letters out. Unless you get them perfect, they always look wrong, whereas other shapes and things you can get away with. So that's that one. And I've got this one, which is, I made this for one of my daughters who sort of likes witches. She's a bit of a witch herself, I think. I hope she doesn't watch this, or else I should be in trouble. It's got 2 witches around a cooking pot. It's quite interesting. Little bat in the tree and a cat sat in the tree. It's quite a bit of cutting out on that, and it's quite delicate. Looks quite effective if you've got a backing piece behind. I'll just get a bit of cardboard and show what I mean. If you put something, I've only got red there at hand, but it shows up the detail quite nicely. I'll leave that there so I can show for the others that I've got. I don't think I'm bragging too much showing you these, but they might be interesting to somebody. That's a couple of wolves that I've cut out. Again, most of these, they're not finished. The reason is that these are copies or spares. They're the backup copies. I explained I cut several at once. When I'm using this thinner plywood, I often stack 3 pieces together and cut 3 out for the price of 1. And so these are spare ones. The actual originals are hanging on my wall or on somebody else's wall, because what I do, I don't sell them or anything. I usually end up either hanging them on my wall if I've got any space left, or giving them away to people. You couldn't make any money out of it, I don't think, because the time it takes. I think I've already shown you that one, haven't I? Or a similar one. There's this one. That's another witch I made. You hang it up. So Put a little hole in the top there and hang that from a lamp or something. And then we've got this. This is basically, it's a cutout of a couple of deer, and then you just put a piece of mahogany or some dark wood or anything really to show the colours up, and then you can make a little frame to put round the outside. So that one's slightly too small for that. The worst part of that frame is making this little bit in the deer in the bottom and the small trees at the top. I found that quite difficult because it's very delicate and the wood was quite thick. So that's that one. Oh, now I've got these there with me. These are 3 Christmassy things I made. You just you can either have them, they're on a backing so you can put them on a wall, or you can just put a hole through the top and hang them on a Christmas tree if you wanted, or hang them around the house or whatever. And the spinners. There's that one there. And that one, I fixed that one on a background and put a bit of varnish on. Most of the things, normally it's best to give them some sort of finish. Varnish or something like that. It's the worst part as far as I'm concerned. The best part is the cutting them out. I hate finishing things because I usually make a mess of them. I end up varnished, bubbles and bits going everywhere, and generally speaking I don't. That's why I've got all these cut out bits lying about in a drawer. These samples I'm showing you now, they're stuck in a drawer not doing anything because I can't be bothered to finish them because I hate finishing them. Anyway, that's about the end of it, I think. You've seen the 2 pieces that I've made, and I've showed you a few of the other bits. Probably think I'm boasting a bit, but there you go. Got to show somebody, haven't I? So that's the final result, and I think I'll leave it at that. And I might come back and do another video or 2 showing the different aspects of cutting things. Anyway, I've waffled on enough now, and as usual, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea now because it's hard work doing this filming. And the worst thing of all is pressing the start button. Once I get going, I'm not too bad. I can just jabber on. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of it, and bye for now.